part 2 of today, I want to walk you through step by step the 90-day sales CRM, the selling system, the lead generation that we coach all of our different people, okay? And so if you want more of this information, we actually do have a website called 90daysalesplan.com. You can go on there and get access to our online virtual training platform and have free content, a 30-minute video that truly walks you through all of this stuff, okay? So I want to give you the condensed down version. I believe sales is a game of probability, right? The more you're prepared, the more you have a plan, the more you have a system in place, the more accountability, discipline, structures. It's the same reason why the same teams with coaches and talent consistently win more than the teams that don't have it, or that aren't disciplined to a system, okay? And so over 90% of salespeople do not have a consistent disciplined selling system. I don't care whether it's real estate or any other industry, you know, people do not have a selling system. So there's 2 types of high value activities. I call these HVAs that we're going to talk about today. Guys, every single day you should ask yourself, what is the highest use of my time right now to generate a new customer, right? And so I believe money follows attention and it follows activity. The activity comes from the income producing activities that we're going to walk you through. The attention comes from the person of influence activities. I believe money follows attention and it follows circulation, and that status sells, and that we should all aspire to become persons of interest so that we can influence more people. Okay? If people use the first person they talk to 67% of the time, how can you become that first conversation? And so this is where we're going to help you guys really have a calculated and coordinated attack to go out there and really plan on Sunday for Monday. And then that way it's really a compound effect with all these different activities that we're doing. Okay? So income producing activities, IPAs. It's only fitting we call these IPAs here in Denver. Okay? 5 daily asks every single day. Number 1 is your advocates. I believe in having a top 25 advocate strategy. And as I said earlier, guys, I moved to Denver a year ago. I didn't know a single person in my target market. Everybody thought I was crazy. But I use this exact system that I'm going to walk you guys through, okay? And so when I got here, I didn't have any advocates. You got to realize that, right? But 1 advocate turns into 3, turns into 5. And so this is just like working your sphere in a different way, okay? Because to me, an advocate is much more than just a sphere. These are folks I'm fighting battles for them, right? I'm in the boat with them. I know what's going on in their life. You know, we're having these daily conversations. And so that's the first part, is they're fighting battles for you right now that you don't even know they're fighting for. This is really how you leverage your brand in the market. This is how you multiply your business, is by building these advocates that are out there doing the heavy lifting on your behalf, okay? And so you really need to educate them on the exact person that you look to do business with. Educate them on the opportunity filter. The second part then are the promoters. Promoters are really people who, when solicited, they'll say good things about you, right? It's kind of like when you go to a restaurant and then somebody says, hey, how was that restaurant? It was good, right? You told them when solicited. The advocates out there like, oh, man, hey, man, I heard you're about to go eat. You really need to go to this place. That's the difference between an advocate and a promoter. And in our system, a promoter is typically a past client or somebody in the market that's past 90 days of you actually doing business with them, okay? And so they've kind of cycled out, but they're still out there saying good things about you because you are involved still with them and you did deliver some kind of value to them, or you consistently deliver value to them, but they're not quite an advocate, okay? The third one then is the new client. So I define a new client as you sell their house or you put them into a house, money has changed hands and went into your pocket, and now that relationship should really start. This is where most agents drop the ball. They're windshield shoppers. They go on, they put somebody into a house, they're on to the next. Guys, when people are most on fire for your services are when you delivered the value and you really help them. So I want to get 3 referrals from all my new clients within a 90-day window. And then after that 90 days, what I'm really assessing is, are they an advocate or are they a promoter, right? Those are the 2 buckets, right, that I try to put people in. I'm trying to take them from a new client to a promoter to an advocate eventually. Right? So those are really the 3 categories where we're always asking for the referrals. We're continuing to be that go-giver mindset to show them the value and stay involved in their lives. And really a meaningful way, not just a cheesy, salesy way, right, with different automations, but really getting involved with them in their lives, right? That's why I'm so big into outside sales and becoming a community leader. And so you involve these different people, right? You might involve them in the activities that you enjoy doing because you know they enjoy doing them too. Then we get into really the primary categories of our help list and our fight club. Our help list are brand new leads or leads that we self-identify and we say, you know what, these are the 10 people I'm trying to get in front of this week when it comes to a new lead. We never qualify a new lead. We share our explanation of services, which is what we're going to talk about next week. But we really figure out, do we share our same beliefs? Are they going to do business? Can we help them just as well as anybody else? If the answers to all those are yes, and we want to do business, guys, I believe in becoming the buyer versus the seller and attracting versus chasing. And so that's why I'm really interviewing every single new lead just as much as they're interviewing me. I'm trying to figure out, do they fit my filter of somebody I want to do business with? Because that's how we really grow a referral machine, is by really doing business with the right people on the front end. Then if they do fit my filter, I know I can help them, I know they're going to buy, then I want to put them into my fight club. That's where I'm fighting to earn that business. That's really where you take a suspect, you turn them into a prospect, and we're going to go those 7 to 15 touches. The mindset of the fight club mindset is I'm fighting to earn that business. I know I'm just as good, if not better than anybody else in my market. Therefore, it's my obligation to fight to earn that business, right? Isn't that much more fun when you put it that way? And so that way every single day, man, I just tell people, like, listen, I know you're going to buy. And I know I'm just as good as anybody else. And I know I can help you just as better than anybody else. And oh, by the way, look at our proof of concept. What's really stopping us from getting started? We lose 10% of momentum every day we don't take action. So that's really the mindset that I'm in when it comes to the fight club, is I'm going to be aggressive because I know I'm just as good or better than anybody else, okay? Then we get into our person of influence activities. I said this earlier, but I believe in the attracting versus chasing mindset. I believe this is really the lead generation part of this. Getting in front of new people, building your networks, becoming a person of interest to ultimately become a person of influence who can help more people with your services. So these are all brand new activities that we're having you do in front of to really grow your network and your database. We've all heard in real estate your database is really king, and that's how you're going to grow. Networks equal net worth. And so these are all the activities that we're going to do outside the office to really help you grow your status in the market. Number one are taking connector meetings. I want you taking 3 connector meetings. These are people that are influencers. They could be builders, attorneys, financial services. They could be people of power. They could just be well connected. Put yourself in proximity to prosper by taking meetings with people that are connectors. So a connector would be, I want to get access to this person. I don't personally know them, but my networks of people right here, maybe these 2 or 3 people do know them, and they make that warm introduction for you. And then you sit down with them. And again, this is where you got to be really good. You got to have something to say. You got to have some kind of value. You got to have a reason why they want to sit down with you, right? So early on, I think most people struggle because they don't have the confidence. This is where you got to understand, man, I'm good at what I do. I bring a certain confidence, a certain knowledge, a certain skill, desire. My energy is compounding versus draining, right? I build people up versus tear them down. And so that's how I get these connector meetings. So again, when I moved here not knowing anybody, I really relied on my connectors of coaching top producers all over the country to introduce me to the power players in this market. And when the database of people that are well established say, hey, you need to meet with this person, it's a whole lot easier to get those meetings to happen, okay? So 3 of those per week. The second category are the climber categories. These are people that are on their way up, right? Typically young hustlers, right? Maybe they're in grad school, maybe they're in advanced degrees, maybe they're going to be a doctor or whatever it is, or maybe they're just getting started out, but they're just, they're going to be really, really good. I don't want to just get one of their deals. I want to get the lifetime of their deals. And oh, by the way, who do the climbers typically hang out with? They have the highest earning potential, and they hang out with other people who have the highest earning potential because they're hanging out with other hustlers, okay? So I want to take 1 to 3 climber meetings every single week. And this is where most agents struggle, is they windshield shop, and so they don't focus on the long term. The long term is, if I can get these people early on, become a mentor, or help them grow their business, they help me grow my business, and we're in it together, that's where we can really, really grow this thing long term, okay? Then we have the someday people. The someday people are, they're gonna buy someday. Let's say they were in your fight club, you didn't close them, they didn't buy or sell, but you know they're gonna do it at some point. Now they go into your someday category. So again, I wanna take 1 to 3 someday meetings every single week. Hopefully by now you guys are seeing all these different activities that we should be doing and how they can really help us establish a brand and grow our business as lead generation activities, okay? 4th category are showcase events. There's 3 types of showcases. There's a speaking showcase, there's outside sales showcases, and there's an advocate showcase. Speaking showcase is where you get in front of the group of people and you're the expert. So maybe you host some kind of event in your neighborhood and you're talking about the values of houses going up and you provide the wine and the cheese and the snacks, but you're on stage for 15 to 20 minutes being the expert, okay? So you could do, guys, there's all different kinds of platforms and stages that you can get on to speak in front of groups of people in your communities. Okay, but this is where you can go one-to-one or you can go one-to-many and attract people that are interested in your services afterwards. Speaking showcase is my top acquisition strategy personally, okay? The second one then are the outside sales events, okay? I don't want you guys to be secret agents. I want you involved in whether they're hobby groups, whether they're meetups, whether they're associations, whether they're things you enjoy doing, right? I want you to go do outside events. And most people just signify this as happy hours. Guys, they don't just have to be happy hours. Things happen outside of just happy hours, right? But go out 3 times a week in some kind of outside activity. And again, that's where if you have a family, it doesn't mean you can't do things at lunch. You're an entrepreneur, guys. You should be able to find different activities that you can get involved with, right? And then the last one are the advocate showcase events. Once a quarter, once every 90 days, I want to do one big cool event where I bring in my advocates, my promoters, my new clients, my past clients, people that are sitting on the fences about my services, and have one really big cool event that I build a marketing plan around, that I capitalize social media on, that I take really good pictures on. Because to me, what better way than to have my advocates and my promoters talking me up to people who are thinking about using my services. And then we leverage all those different, we tag them, we post it, we take pictures. And so most people try to do 1 week happy hour a month and they're like, hey, hopefully 10 people show up. I would rather have one big cool event and have marketing dollars go towards that, because I can leverage that a whole lot more. And it creates that whole fear of missing out. So do the advocate showcase events, okay? Moving on then, going into the Nexpert category. A Nexpert is somebody who is where you want to be. They could be entrepreneurs, they could be, I really don't care what it is. I call it spend time with talent though. And this is where you're not trying to sell them on anything. You're basically just saying, hey, I want to spend time with you. I know you're really good at what you do, and I'm really on my way up, but I want to pick your brain. I believe in spending time with talented people, and you are that. And so I just want to kind of get to know you more and get to know different systems. And what typically happens, guys, when you take these Nexpert meetings is they want to then connect you, because if you're good at what you do and they see the value in what you do, and you're likable and you have the personality and you have the character, they want to connect you to more deals, okay? So I do one of those every single week. Then we get into our database and our marketing. So I want you doing 15 marketing activities. These could be as simple as posting on Facebook, commenting on somebody's Facebook post. I don't want to overcomplicate it when it comes to the online or the traditional marketing, okay? But 15, that's 3 marketing activities every single day that can help you. They could be videos, right? They could be sending out cards. They could be all different kinds of activities, but I want you doing 15 marketing activities, and then I want you doing 1 database every single week. This is where you create the content though. Or if you do copy and share somebody else's article, at least have a 2 or 3 sentences in there why you enjoyed that article. I'm so tired of everybody just copying and pasting the same articles and not putting anything in it. I don't even think they read them, okay? So when you send out information to your database, I prefer that you create the content. You could be creating videos like these. You could be creating blogs, articles, right? But I want you to really touch that database, because as we all know, the database is very, very important to all this, okay? So let's quickly break down. I want to be your 90-day accountability partner over the next 13 weeks, okay? So the daily activities would be all those different things that we just talked about. Your advocates, your new clients, your past clients, your promoters, your help list, your fight club. Every single day you should be touching those folks once per category, okay? And then I also want to be, I want to ask for the business, I want to close the business, but then I get into my weekly benchmarks. And so in your content sheet, you'll see all the different weekly benchmarks that we have tied to our selling system. I want 10 new leads. I want 15 people in my fight club, right? I want 5 really good conversations with my advocates. So every single week then, I'm really having benchmarks tied to these activities. Every month, I want you doing a 100 touch challenge, where you pick out one day and you do nothing but prospect, okay? And so getting back into the daily accountability, every day, guys, you should build out 60 to 90 minutes and do nothing but prospect. Prospecting is king, and so every single day you should build out that activity. But then getting back into the monthly evaluation, I want you guys to have a 100 touch challenge that you do once a month, where you block off a complete day and you go from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. and you try to touch 100 people. I'm not saying a phone call. It doesn't have to be 100 phone calls. It could be phone calls, texts, emails, right? But that's the mindset I want you to be as you build out your 90-day sales plan. And then quarterly, I want you to do a deep dive. I want you to scrub your 90-day sales CRM. I want you to study success. I want you to do that advocate event, okay? So hopefully by now, if you're seeing all these different plans in place, that's a lot of stuff that we should be doing. And so the benchmark and the exercise I want you to do right now is, what are the daily or weekly benchmarks that are tied to your top customer acquisition strategies? So I really want you to define what are your top customer acquisition strategies, and then how are you going to tie that into our selling system to really hold you accountable to those activities. And then, are you consistent and disciplined? Do you even have a selling system at all right now? And if not, I would strongly encourage you guys to adopt our selling system. And again, if you go to 90daysalesplan.com, you can have all those details, and we have a full video on all this different stuff.